Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I posted a YouTube video on outbound, all things cold email, etc. But we are back, not too late, still in January. And I want to effectively just do a wrap up of what we've seen so far with cold outreach in 2026. I know pretty much everyone who follows this channel and engages with my content will be interested in cold outreach. Whether you're running a cold outreach agency yourself or you're doing this for your own business, this video will be useful. I'm going to give you 5 things that we've noticed so far in 2026, mistakes to avoid, things to capitalize on, and where I see the opportunities being in cold outreach, right? This isn't here to sell you anything. This is just a no BS guide, my personal experience, what I've seen and what's been working for us. So take that as you will. Obviously conduct your own split testing, do your own campaigns, get your own data for this, but I'm sure it will align very similar to what we're seeing right now. The first thing I want to touch on is overall saturation. There's no surprise that obviously markets are crowded. Markets are getting more and more crowded every single year, but you will be extremely surprised how many untapped markets there still are that are out there. Now, the way I define an untapped market or an underserved market is a market that you can reach out to and get outsized returns, i.e. responses and leads, compared to any normal market. The reason being is these markets are being reached out to far less than any other markets. And even with a very, very basic outreach message, you can get great results. So what we're focusing on right now in terms of saturation is once again
identifying the untapped and underserved markets that we can go into, just because it makes the results so much better without having to change much else in the back end. We don't have to go crazy with personalization. You don't have to go crazy with Clay and all these enrichment tools if you find the right untapped and unsaturated markets. But overall, yeah, what we're seeing in 2026, of course, most of these common markets that you're in, selling to marketing agencies, tech companies, SaaS, they're very, very crowded and they're very saturated, but there will be certain sub-segments and sub-niches in there that are untapped. So my first bit of advice would be to go and look for these untapped and underserved markets that will get you much better results for your outreach. The second thing we're seeing so far in 2026 is regards to the actual infrastructure itself. We are personally seeing Microsoft accounts perform the best, especially ones that are on tenants, right? So from all the testing that we've done, we see that Microsoft accounts from tenants with strong IPs, of course, perform the best. There's a few different options you have here, things like Hypertide, InfraSuite. There's loads of companies now selling these inboxes on a per tenant basis, or you can get lots of email accounts. If you'd like to get your own Microsoft email accounts from dedicated IPs that we can set up for you, there's actually a link to that in the description if you are interested. It's just $2.50 a month per account. But overall, what we're seeing, whether you get it from the inboxes that we provide or the inboxes that anyone else in the market provides, is that Microsoft is performing the best right now. So of course, diversify as you should, have some Google, some SMTP and some Microsoft, but we're leaning towards Microsoft right now as that's what we're seeing get the highest inbox placement rate and reply rate. The third thing is regarding AI personalization. I know it's a very hot topic and was a hot topic in 2025, but we're personally not seeing the usual AI personalization make a huge difference to reply rate. So if you're using Clay and getting AI to create personalized first lines to specific contacts based off their website or based off their LinkedIn profile, we're honestly not seeing that make a huge difference to reply rates, especially when operating at scale. If it is a smaller market and a smaller size campaign, yes, this does definitely make a difference, and it makes somewhat of a difference either way, but not to the extent in which you'd think. And I think there's more of an emphasis on making a difference to reply rate, but not necessarily positive reply rate. The main thing, the overarching theme is much like 2025 and before, offer will trump everything. You don't need to have crazy personalization or any if your offer is good. And I think there's a lot of people in cold email that say the same thing. Taylor Harron, someone that I watch, who sends a crazy amount of emails, and I think he done a breakdown of 3 scripts that he was using for a client. And you always lead with the bread and butter script. It's just something very basic, pitching the offer, no personalization in there, and typically that one performs best. It's interesting, you should watch some of his videos. I personally watch a lot of them, and it will give you a breakdown and some more insight into, especially at scale, what works and what doesn't. And what we generally see is short and simple copy will pretty much, once again, beat everything, with a good offer, of course. Short and simple, it's easy to digest, it's easy to scan read, and AI personalization as well. Depending on what model you're using, it usually has quite a high error percentage, and a lot of it won't really make sense. So the AI personalization you're doing needs to have quite a vigorous QA process. You need to be checking the quality of that. And if you don't have the resources to be able to do that, then that also makes running that scale much harder. It's significantly easier and you're gonna have quicker route to market if you just do short and simple copy with a great offer. So we're spending a lot more of our time on offer engineering rather than AI personalization things, as we're seeing that to make a big difference. Another thing we're seeing is speed to lead management. So now, especially with the AI tools you have available to ourselves and the automation tools, it's much easier to get back to leads quickly, especially with the sequences that we're using. This is 0.5, we'll get into it in a minute, but we're using +5. Even things like Instantly and Smart Lead, it will have AI that drafts your response for you and can even send it for you. So you can just get back to leads way faster. And if you prompt this AI right, you can have it to check your calendar, you can get it to send your calendar link, and you can get leads to book in far quicker, which of course increases the likelihood of bookings. So I think overall that is a good advancement. And if you're not currently using any speed to lead things in your campaigns, you're missing out. You should be using speed to lead, whether that's AI agents or even the sequences themselves, to be able to get back to leads way faster. Another thing with this as well, just on the speed to lead note, is if you can get on the phone, I think in 2026 that is going to have a huge impact. We saw that in 2025, and I think there's a lot of other businesses and outbound agencies that are seeing the same thing. If you can call the leads within 5 minutes of them responding to your email, the chances of that booking is so much higher, right? And now with easily accessible AI and automation tools, you can trigger and notify your SDRs or even yourself to make calls to leads as soon as possible once they've responded. But overall, speed to lead, I think is going to be a big thing this year, and you should be focusing on it to absolutely maximize the conversion from your campaigns. So speed to lead will be a big thing. And the fifth and final thing I want to go over is new sequences. So there's going to be new sequences all over the place. There was once again last year and the year before that. There's plenty on the market now. You'll know the big players: Instantly, Smart Lead, Lemlist, etc. The one we're personally using, and I'm just speaking from personal experience, is +5. However, most of these sequences will be the same. So we moved over from Instantly to +5 towards the back end of last year. The reason being, we tend to opt towards the sequences with the very best or quickest support, as I believe this is actually the biggest differentiation factor with the sequences right now. And if anyone's unsure on what I mean by sequences, it's the platforms that actually distribute the emails out for you and send them on your behalf. So if you're maximizing or I suppose optimizing for support, you're probably going to get the most done with that sequencer, and you're going to have the quickest time to push things through. It's overall, I believe, going to be the best strategy. That's what we've seen. So whatever sequence you're using, it doesn't matter too much to your to your campaign results. But I would personally be looking at testing other sequences. A lot of them also do send on different servers and whatnot. So if you're using a sequencer that loads of other people use, there's a higher likelihood potentially you could be put on worse servers and may not get as good deliverability. Overall, I think this is something you should be looking at in 2026 and testing a bit, whatever sequencer you're using, as that will make a difference. And obviously the support time makes a big difference as well. So if you're looking to run cold outreach campaigns for your business, or you're looking to run a cold outreach agency, we can be here to help. I have a completely free school community in the link below if you want to join that. If you want us to run your outreach campaigns, please DM me, or if you want to learn how to run them yourself, we have a bunch of free resources. I have free videos on this channel, or you can also DM me to learn more about how we can help potentially one-to-one. So hopefully this video has been useful, going over all the things that we've seen in cold outreach so far in 2026. Drop your comments if you agree with this, if you don't agree with this, if you've seen different things, what you expect to see over the next year with regards to cold email, specifically in cold outreach. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.